Welcome back, everyone, to Let's Play Escape Velocity Nova, episode number 4. Unfortunately, the rebels don't like us, which is not ideal, but, okay, now they're going to be persuaded to attack somebody else. That's good. I think what we're going to do in this episode is actually just go to a bar, and let's see what the random mission generator pulls out for us. So here we go. Typically, what I would like to do next is actually continue along the United shipping, but we don't know what we're going to get. We click bar, and the bar is the way you open up all of the different plot lines in Escape Velocity Nova. So here we go. Just as you sit down, you see a group made up of 2 men and a woman, all with the soft, pallid look of scientists, walk into the bar. As soon as one of them spots you, they all look in your direction and make their way over. "Are you Tortuga Power, captain of the Tortoiseshell 3? Asks one of the men, and when you nod in confirmation, they all grin. "Allow me to introduce myself. I'm David Rengel, and these are my associates, Fiona Jeffrey and Mike Robbins. We are members of a scientific team in the employ of the Nirvana Terraforming and Stellar Engineering Company. Perhaps you have heard of it." When you shake your head slowly, they look momentarily crestfallen. "Oh, well, it is a new field of endeavor," David continues, recovering. "We are looking to start a new project and need someone to help us set up our base camp, and you came highly recommended. Are you interested?" Good. So this is one of the, like, I don't know. I guess I think all of the storylines are wonderful, but this is a really good one. We're gonna go and start reestablishing a habitable planet out of one which is currently just completely uninhabitable to humans. So let's help him, definitely. "That's great," he booms, a little too loudly, and you wince as many of the patrons look around in interest. "We want to set up our base camp on Misfire in the Trishka system. Initially, it will just be me and the other 10 members of the team, plus some of the equipment we need. But it won't be long until we will be requiring your services for more equipment. We are prepared to pay you 25,000 credits for your services on this trip," he continues quickly, as if suddenly remembering something. "When can we leave?" You ask him how long it will take him and his team to load up your vessel. "Around 3 hours or so," he replies, slightly puzzled. "Why?" With a slight smile at his naivety, you tell him that you can be ready to leave in about 3 hours. "Oh!" he exclaims, suddenly understanding. "Then we had better get to work, huh?" You nod and head off towards your ship. This is a lot of fun, this one. Oh! Okay, interesting. I'm not used to getting 2 entries at the bar, but we'll see what we can do here. It's not necessarily terrible. I think this is the Kunjo hunting one, which is also a lot of fun. So, let's see. You are sitting quietly, enjoying a cold drink. Well, I guess we headed back to our ship, but got a little bored of waiting for the scientists, so decided to get another drink. When the man beside you turns and starts up a conversation. The space jock lifestyle is a fairly lonely one, and with months being between seeing old friends, and you are more than happy to chat away for a while with him. It turns out that he is an Auroran living in Federation space. When he told you, you looked at him somewhat skeptically, but once he explained that he was watched by the government very carefully and had to log all his travel and movements, you can see that this might be possible. Chirango has been living in Fed space since his house cast him out. Your limited knowledge of the Auroran lifestyle gives you enough of an idea not to question him further. These things are always a matter of honor and best left alone. During the course of the night, it becomes apparent. Wow, we did not wait 3 hours, did we? Sorry, scientists. Anyway, during the course of the night, it becomes apparent that Chirango is something of an entrepreneur, and has organized for a number of Federation citizens to go to Hourglass and hunt the dreaded Kunjo. He has a number of expatriate Auroran warriors to act as guides, and enough weapons to destroy a small Federation battle group. He has run a number of successful hunts, but has run into a snag. His regular pilot was killed when a Kunjo ripped him into pieces. So now he has a party ready to leave, but no one to get them there. Suddenly, a light comes to his eyes, and you can all but see a light bulb appear next to him. "Say," he asks, I wonder how the Aurorans speak. They're kind of like a gruff group. Probably like Orcish or something. Say, yes. What are you doing tomorrow? Do you feel up to ferrying us to Hourglass and dropping us back at Earth? It won't be too dangerous. The Kunjos aren't mating at the moment. You look at him in a mixture of disbelief. You have never seen a Kunjo, but you don't really want to. Chirango sees your expression, smiles, and leans closer. There's big money in this. If you do it for me, I'll always be in your debt. And I'll pay you 75,000. You won't have to go on a surface for very long, and you won't even have to leave your ship. Even in mating season, Kunjo can't tear through metal. What do you say? Well, of course we say yes. You stick out your hand and Chirango grasps it. I really should be getting everything organized, he smiles warmly. I'll meet you at your ship tomorrow. I'll have my team with me and 4 clients, 3 of which are public servants who are out for a thrill, and 1 who is a much more serious hunter. We'll probably stay on Hourglass for a few days depending on how the hunt goes, and then we'll return to Earth when we're finished. Okay, very good. So we have 2 different missions set up right now, which, hey, that's not bad. Let's just knock them off one at a time. I don't think either of these are time critical. So I know the terraforming team is just to the left, to the southwest of where we are. Or I don't know if you can use cardinal directions in space, but I'm trying to. And if I'm not mistaken, Kunjo Hunt is to the southeast. Yes, this is the Kunjo Hunt, and this is... Technically, the place where you're going to set up is this one. But for some reason, you stop here to set up the base. That's right. Okay, that was the first mission to help them set up the base. Let's go do that first. After that, it'll be the Procyon. It'll be Procyon, which has the uninhabitable, but eventually habitable planet on it. Which one of these 2 was it? I don't remember. Probably the green one? Yeah. 1002, that's it for sure. Yeah, it doesn't even let you choose the other one, so the decision is obvious. Okay, well, let's get the scientist. Wasn't his name Dave or something? I seem to recall Dave. Let's get him to the planet. Nothing but feds here. As you land, David, yep, his name is David. David and his team of scientists quickly set about unloading their cargo as speedily as possible. You lend a hand, and in just over 2 hours, the job is done. Thank you, Captain Tortuga Power, says David seriously as he shakes your hand. I've already authorized the credit transfer to your account, and if you want more work, just drop by the bar. If I need anything, I'll contact you there. With that, he and his team head off to begin setting up their camp. Very good. So we could go to the bar, but let's just go finish this Kunjo hunting first. And you can see that we've actually got quite a fair amount of money. We're up to just about 800,000. We should be over 800,000 when we finish this Kunjo hunting mission. I love the writing in this game. Obviously, it's something I keep coming back to. I've mentioned it several times, but I think if you're a fan at all of these old text-driven type games, it's a nostalgia piece for you to relive them. And is this? Oh, an Auroran. Well, that's weird. We have an Auroran on board. Good sir, we have an Auroran on board. You seem to be mistaken. No, you just don't give a shit, do you? Okay, which one of these do I need to get to? Hourglass. Nope, that's Greenwich. Nope, that's Kronos. And we're actually starting to lose shields, so this one should be Hourglass then. Okay, we got Hourglass. Looks like the Firebird gave up. That's good. I don't want to risk our reputations with anybody yet. Great, here we go. Chirango has spent an hour guiding you to a well-used landing site. All around there is dense forest, and the undergrowth is just starting to cover a huge number of deep craters. You set down, and the sensors are going wild. As soon as you do, Chirango and his team leap out of the hatch, brandishing their weapons with gusto. Behind them come the clients, 3 looking like they should be wearing brown underpants, the fourth eyeing the undergrowth intently. You cycle the hatch closed and watch. A Kunjo suddenly breaks from the undergrowth, flying through the air to attack one of Trango's men. At least it would have, if a rocket hadn't plowed into its chest before detonating the beast into a rapidly expanding pink vapor cloud. The public servants leaped to the ground, pointing their weapons in every direction at once. Trango lays about with a continuous laser, and in the space of a few minutes the clearing you landed in is 3 times the size. His men set up the mines and sentry lasers, and the camp takes shape. You stayed on Hourglass for 4 days. The public servants never fired their weapons, but still had some very manly hollow shots taken with killed Kunjos. The fourth client made some kills on his own, but they all looked on in disbelief when Trango and the guides explained that in the Auroran Empire, warriors hunt Kunjo with hand-to-hand weapons. All too soon, you have packed up and are heading home. Very good. So that was kind of fun. I think this might not even be the last of the Kunjo missions, because there's... If it is, that's fine, but there's actually a variety of different storylines that you can get with these, which can be... Like, it's both a good and a bad thing. The good news is there's variety and replayability in this game. Tons. Oh boy. Aurorans really don't like us, huh? But the downside is sometimes you get a playthrough where your captain is like a pansy. So, alright, they wanted to head back to Seoul, so here we go. Well, Trango smiles, here's your pay. Kind of twisted into a weird Western accent there. He hands you a chip, and you both watch the men unload the equipment. The clients are meeting their families and friends, showing them the stage hollows and waving their arms around, miming the awesome shots that killed the dread beasts. Only the fourth client has any claim on the events he's describing, and you and Trango laugh quietly to yourselves. Only a few short hours later, all the equipment is unloaded and Trango bids you goodbye. You don't think you'll ever go hunting Kunjo again, but at least you can say you have done it. Not really. I mean, we've been to the planet, but it's not quite the same, right? Oh, good. Wow. So we're really getting everything. This looks like Sigma Shipyards, which is a fantastic storyline. Right up there, probably better than... I think it's the best minor storyline, and by minor storyline, I mean one which doesn't lead to the, story plotline development, where the Auroran or the Federation or the Polaris, Pirate, Rebel, those are all main storylines, but this is not one of them. So you can... What I'm trying to say is you can access this storyline even in addition to any of the other major storylines. Alright, as you wander through the shipyard looking at all the ships awaiting a prospective buyer, a man wearing an expensive tailored business suit comes over and extends his hand. Are you Tortuga Power, captain of the Tortoiseshell 3? He asks quietly as you shake hands. You nod warily. Excellent. I am Rodney Andrews, which should have been said a little more smoothly. I am Rodney Andrews, manager of shipping liaison for Sigma Shipyards. Ever since Donald Chick disappeared some months ago, we have had a problem gaining the services of freighter pilots to bring in our supplies. Would you be willing to work for us? And the answer to this should always be yes. Great, he explains with a wide smile. We currently have a shipment of 10 tons of equipment waiting in storage on Kolan in the Sandown system. If you could head over there, pick it up, and return here, making sure that you land on the area of the cane band owned by Sigma Shipyards, that would be great. Any problems? He asked seriously. No? Well then, I expect that I'll be seeing you again in a few days. Okay, great. So this opens up Sigma Shipyards. It's going to give us access to a lot of upgrades to our ships, which you don't have access to in any other way, including one which you just simply gain more gun spots for your ship. There's just no downside. It costs a little bit of money, but you just gain permanently, I think, 2 gun and 1 gun turret spots. So where did it want us? Kolan. And we're in the wrong one then. Okay, good. So we got the equipment. If we get lucky, we'd see one to Earth. Huh. This is interesting, but by October 30th, and it's October 5th already, we already know we want to go to Seoul. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, back to Wolf. Nah, we'll leave it. Enough of the small missions, right? I mean, we have almost 100, well, we almost have 1 million. Which is more than enough to carry us through, and I can always do a little bit of resource gathering off camera. But let's just stick to the missions from now on. Boom! As you pilot your way into what is normally a restricted area, out of bounds to all non-Sigma shipyard personnel, you take a quick peek at some of the enormous shipyards at their disposal. As soon as you land, dock workers swarm all around your vessel, and in no time they have unloaded your cargo. A few minutes later, as you stand around wondering what to do, you spot Rodney coming towards you. "Sorry, I'm a little tardy," he apologizes sincerely. "I've just been having one of those days today. Now I know... Oops, now that I've finally arrived, here are the details I'm sure you're dying to know. Firstly," Rodney ticks off a finger, "you have been paid 20,000 credits for your services, and I have also made available similar missions through the Mission BBS throughout the Federation. Secondly, as an employee of Sigma Shipyards, you are allowed to purchase all the ships in our range," he informs you to your delight. "In particular, I'm talking about the Starliner, the Pegasus, and the Leviathan." That's this one here. "If you can scrape together the funds, you can purchase them here at any time. You should also be able to find a few ship upgrade outfits available here on the King Van. Anyway, if you'll forgive me," he finishes a little tiredly, "I have 1,001 things I still have to do today, so I'll take my leave of you. Thanks again." That means that now we should have... Oh, wow. It says we need a capital ship license still. I thought that maybe accessing those ships from the King Van, being a Sigma Shipyards employee, nullified our capital ships license, the necessity of that. But apparently it doesn't. Although... maybe it does. Oh, actually, did I buy already? Let's see. I might have already bought. Yeah, I have an exotic ships and weapons license, so I forgot that we did that in a previous episode. That means that I'm able to buy anything. So, of course, the reason why I can't buy the Leviathan is simply because I don't have the money. 12 million credits? Yeah, we're a bit short. You know, like by a factor of 12 short. Or even more than that. Nonetheless, it's still pretty fun that we have that. Actually, I think this is a good place to call this episode to a close. So what we're going to keep doing from now on is running the bars and eventually picking a storyline, a main storyline to run with. I wouldn't be remiss if we got the... what is it called? The Irish one, the Tuatha... what is it called? The Wild Geese. The Wild Geese storyline, and if that could transition us into the Polaris storyline, that would be ideal. But thanks for watching this episode, and I'll catch you in the next.